Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, both the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum have dropped right to the first technical price target for this rising wedge pattern. But now that this has played out, where could Bitcoin and Ethereum be heading next? And well, I'll be talking about that later in the video. Make sure you watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update on what the US stock market did today. This right here is the Nasdaq 100 index on the daily time frame, and as you can see, today we've seen more of a rejection from the golden pockets. And for those of you who have been watching my videos over the past few days, you will know that I've been saying for the stock market that we're running into heavy resistance. The RSI is telling us we're due to see a cool off, but for the last few days, I've been saying we technically need to see some more confirmation here in the price action when it comes to a possible breakout or a rejection. But now it's safe to say, after the most recent trading day, that we have that confirmation for a proper rejection from the golden pocket. And of course, that is a bearish signal. That is bearish confirmation. So this means that a pullback for the Nasdaq 100 index is now more likely to happen. And obviously, the longer term viewers on this channel would know that crypto prices are very correlated to what tech stocks are doing. So if tech stocks are starting to look more bearish and showing some bearish signs, then this can result in some bearish price action in crypto, and that's exactly what we have seen. In fact, over the past one day especially, we've seen a decent volatile move to the downside, which was actually predicted by the Bollinger Band indicator entering into this squeeze formation. Now, simply based on these previous examples, I was expecting perhaps a little bit longer, maybe a few more days before we then see a volatile move, but obviously this one came a little bit sooner rather than later. But either way, the Bollinger Band did predict a volatile move days in advance, and obviously the move to the downside was predicted once we broke support. Because the Bollinger Band indicator itself, unfortunately, does not tell us whether we're going up or down for the volatile move. It just tells us we're due to see more volatility. But anyway, while we're on the daily Bitcoin chart, taking a look at the daily Bitcoin RSI, and as I've been saying nonstop for the past 4 days, obviously we have this break to the downside in the daily Bitcoin RSI, which is obviously a bearish signal telling us that we're due to see more bearish price action. And not only did we have a break to the downside in the daily Bitcoin RSI, we of course broke to the downside from this bearish rising wedge pattern, which was also telling us we're due to see bearish price action. But now that we've already seen a lot of bearish price action over the past few days, and we've already seen that break to the downside in the daily Bitcoin RSI, if we're looking at the RSI, we're actually getting pretty close to oversold territories. And the last few times that has happened, that has actually marked a local low for the Bitcoin price on the daily time frame. But I want to make it clear that the daily Bitcoin RSI is obviously not yet in oversold territories, which technically means there's still some room to the downside. And now if we take a look at the 12-hour Bitcoin chart, what we can see right here is that rising wedge pattern more clearly, and the first technical price target for this rising wedge pattern was coming into play at around $21,000 per Bitcoin. And if you're new to the channel, you can check my previous videos if you want to, but over the past 3 to 4 days, ever since this point right up here, I've been talking about 21K as the first technical price target for this rising wedge pattern. Now, obviously, between the breakdown and this technical price target, we did have this other level, this 38.2% Fibonacci level coming into play at around 22,500, and I was expecting perhaps a bit of support around that level, but obviously that turned out to be wrong. And as soon as we broke that level, as I've been saying anyway, if we break that level, I expect a drop down towards around 21K, and that's exactly what happens. And now if we're looking at this golden pocket, this is coming into play at around 20.8K up to around 21K. So in that price range, we do have some support, and already as of recording this video, we're seeing a slight bounce around these prices, which is proving that we do at least have some support here. And also based on this previous low, we have previously confirmed this as support. So this is the main area of support that I'm currently watching for Bitcoin, and if we break that level of support, then we could dip down towards the 78.6% Fibonacci level, which is coming into play at pretty much exactly 20,000. And anything below that level, if we confirm a break below 20,000, then we could see the Bitcoin price reach the full technical price target for this rising wedge pattern, which is coming into play towards the bottom of the wedge, and that is sitting at around 19,000, just above 19,000. And I've seen some comments in my recent videos asking me how my Fibonacci levels are at these prices, and basically these are just the Fibonacci retracement levels going from just this upswing, which draws the Fibonacci retracement tool from this low around the middle of July up to the swing high. And by by the way, I do have my chart scale and my Fibonacci retracement tool both set on the log scale. But anyway, zooming into the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and what we have right here is obviously the Bitcoin price has broken below this range of support, which was coming into play at around 22,500. And like I just said earlier, I was expecting perhaps a little bit of support around that price range, maybe a slight bounce around that level before continuing with the bearish price action. So when it comes to that, obviously I was wrong about that acting as some short-term support. But if we simply look at the next lowest low in the Bitcoin price, that was back here at around 20.7k, and that is precisely where we have been finding some short-term supports recently as of recording this video. And of course, that is right where the golden pocket is coming into play, as I just covered on the 12-hour chart. So once again, I am looking at this range right now as support for Bitcoin. And as for resistance, if we do end up seeing a bit more of a bounce, then we should have some strong resistance around this area, which is around 22,500. And now if we're looking at the price oscillators, the RSI and the MACD on the 4-hour time frame, obviously they're still trending more bearish than bullish. They haven't confirmed a bullish reversal, but the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI, for example, has plunged well into oversold territories. We are deep in oversold territories right now as of recording this video. And this sort of thing doesn't happen very often, and it is a possible setup for a bullish divergence later on. Obviously, right now, we do not have a bullish divergence. But with the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI reaching so low into oversold territories, if the Bitcoin price simply sees a small bounce and forms a slightly lower low, then it's very likely that the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI would actually form a higher low, because to get the RSI this low, we need to see a lot of bearish price action very fast. So I will be keeping an eye out for new developments in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI, and obviously I'll keep you updated in these videos and in real time over on my Twitter. And in case you're new to this channel, and if you want to know what the short-term trend is, obviously, as I've been saying ever since we broke the 5-day moving average up towards around 24.2k, the Bitcoin price in terms of the immediate short-term trend is still looking more bearish than bullish. We have not confirmed a bullish reversal in the immediate short term as of right now. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily Ethereum chart, and this indicator shows us the Ethereum long positions, more accurately, the amount of Ethereum sitting in Ethereum long positions on the Bitfinex exchange. And if you've been watching my videos for even just the last 1 to 2 weeks, you would already know about this chart right here. But if you're new to the channel, basically what we have seen over the past couple weeks is a lot of money, talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum flow out of Ethereum long positions, which means the big money is not currently betting on Ethereum. And usually when we see the big money flow away from Ethereum like this is actually a larger bearish signal for the larger timeframes, because if we're looking at the last couple times this has happened, obviously this has come just before a lot more bearish price action. But as always, I want to make it clear that this is not an immediate short-term signal, meaning that this does not mean we're going to see a massive crash in the coming days. Instead, due to the fact that it's on the daily time frame, it means this is more of a bearish signal for potentially the coming weeks, maybe even the coming months. So if you're talking about the next few weeks going into September, for example, right now I'm simply more bearish than bullish, as I have been saying on this channel. But obviously during a move like this, for example, even though this is clearly a larger bearish move in this example, we can still see shorter term bullish price action within that bearish move. So if we see bullish price action on the 4-hour chart, that doesn't mean this is wrong, because once again, this is on the daily time frame, talking about the larger moves in the market. But anyway, zooming into the 12-hour Ethereum chart, and this is of course that rising wedge pattern I've been warning about for over a week now. And ever since we confirmed a break below this line of support, which was coming into play at around 1870, and especially as we got that rejection further confirming the break to the downside, then that activated this technical price target coming into play at around 1600. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of Ethereum has pretty much exactly hit 1600 to the nearest dollar. And so far, we're seeing a short-term bounce from that level of support, as I've been talking about for the past few days. And obviously, big congrats to those of you who have been keeping up to date with my videos over the past few days, because you would have made big money on this move in a short position, for example. And in case you don't already know, right now, there's actually a free $100 you can claim up until the end of this month in the form of either a long position or a short position. And there's a limited amount that can be claimed, and you keep all of the profits from the position, and you don't have to deposit any money. So it's essentially free money. And so if you're interested in that, or if you want to find out more, I do have a link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But anyway, getting back to the 12-hour Ethereum chart, and as I said, we had that technical price target at around 1600. But if Ethereum confirms a break break below 1600, in fact, if we really break below this previous low, which is actually coming into play at around 1560, then if that happens, then it would be very likely the price of Ethereum would continue down towards the full technical price target for this rising wedge pattern, which is towards the bottom of the wedge, and that is sitting at around 1400. And if we zoom into the shorter term, taking a look at the 4-hour Ethereum chart, obviously we've now broken this short-term bullish trend, and Ethereum just recently hit the technical price target for this ascending broadening wedge pattern, which obviously broke to the downside the moment we broke below around 1800. That was the signal that we're flipping more bearish. And in case you don't know, the technical price target for an ascending broadening wedge pattern is towards the base of the wedge, towards the bottom of the wedge. And in this price range, we do have previous resistance and previous support, so this is a significant range to pay attention to in the short term, and this is coming into play in between around 1560 and around 1620 to 1630. So once again, it's in this area where I am currently expecting some short-term support, meaning that we could see a bit of a bounce or plateau around this area. But after something like that, if Ethereum, let's just say, breaks below this range of support, then I'll be looking towards this low, which is coming to play at around 1400, like I said, for the rising wedge pattern on the 12-hour time frame. And if we're looking at the price oscillators for Ethereum on the 4-hour chart, this is basically showing all the same signals as what I said for Bitcoin. So the same for Bitcoin really applies right here as well when it comes to the 4-hour price oscillators. And if you want to know how to make profits on all of these moves in the market, even if the price is going down, check out these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.